This is insane. 2,961,39 million permadeaths in classic hardcore. Wow, that is such a high number. But that also shows how popular classic hardcore is. Yo, let's have a look at this.
WoW Classic Hardcore is live, and so far Death has claimed 2,961,039 player characters. Around the clock, that's about one death every 1.5 seconds.
Whoa!
There are plenty of ways to become a ghost, but the top 10 causes of death are doing work, claiming one soul every 10.6 seconds. So, who are these killing machines? Let's take a look at the top 10 deadliest things in Azeroth. Number 10, Kobold Tunneler. Kill count 28,437.
What? This is an easy
mob
mob.
near the Fargo Deep Mine to the south of Goldshire and
How do players die to that?
The quest sends you out looking for gold dust and large candles that these kobolds carry. Pretty basic stuff, but it can be tough when you're just starting out. We've all been there.
Ah, I know how players die. So they go in, they wipe every mob. They're inside the mine, and when they try to leave it, they respawn, and then they kill the player. That must be it, because this mob is not a challenge. Like, when I was like questing in Classic WoW, not hardcore, but Classic WoW, this was actually very easy. I did the quest very, very fast and efficiently, and I had no issues. I like maybe 1 or 2 spawn maybe again when I try to leave, but I even killed those. The only issue is like if you spend too much time, like the trick if you're doing this quest, either group up with someone or be very, very fast and don't sit around too much. With some classes you would probably have like a easier and faster time. I feel like maybe Warrior is actually quite easy for this, even Paladin.
No judgment. Number 9, Porcine Entourage. Kill count 29,039. Oh. 2 of these can be found accompanying a boar named Princess.
I actually saw a streamer die to that.
Quest from Moss Stonefield sends you in their direction. All 3 pigs have a charge attack that stuns. So
yeah,
for a lot of
I saw a streamer die to that.
First introduction to the joys of getting stun locked. Number 8, Drowning. Kill count 33,277. Water can be found just about anywhere. And good old-fashioned non-sentient lakes, ponds, and streams are not to be underestimated. Breath can run out pretty quickly if you're not paying attention, so...
Wait, but how does that happen? You see it already. Like, I always know when I'm like at 20% or something, I know I have to return to the surface, right? And depending on how deep I am, like, I usually make it in time. I mean, there are like some quests early on where you have to dive and retrieve something from the ground of a lake or something, right? But, yo... I think for this Forsaken OP, because they can never die to that.
If you're not paying attention. So, maybe think twice before accepting a summons from that warlock with a grudge. Oh. Number 7, other players.
That's
Kill count 34,894.
Okay, that's normal.
By default, PvP is disabled on hardcore servers, but unless you're a coward, you should immediately turn it on. Battlegrounds are disabled as well, but you can still die for your flag carrier by assembling a pre-made group for wargames. For settling loot disputes, defending one's honor, or just to prove superior combat prowess, the time-honored tradition of mock garage
How big is PvP actually in
Duels to
Classic
the death
Hardcore?
are a new feature in hardcore. Lose, and it's all over. But win!
Guys, I need some information for you. For those of you that did PvP in Classic Hardcore, because I have not tried it yet, because I'm afraid I lose my character in PvP, because PvP, one has to die, right? But is PvP actually big in Classic Hardcore? And if it is big, it's probably very low level players usually only, right? Or are there actually some people in like level 40 plus that actually do PvP? Because I feel like actually in Classic Hardcore PvP is dead because people don't want to lose their character. Because it's like literally Makura, right? It's like Makura, yes. So I don't know, maybe not many do that. That's why I believe actually it's actually pretty high, the number, if you think about it, right? Like, maybe like half is like open world and half could be in arenas. I'm just guessing here. Yeah, it's actually fascinating. 34,894. Wait, how do they get the data? They just take it from the server, I guess, right? And they just put it like on public display. Yeah.
And you get a stacking buff called String of Ears that keeps count of how much better you are than everyone else is at PvP.
What buff do you get from that? Or do you get even any?
Number 6, Defias Pillager. Kill count 35,070. Found in the western part of Westfall, these range casters are not to be taken lightly.
Oh, I hated questing here in
Classic
WoW.
How hard their fireballs hit. Plus, they spawn pretty fast, so it might be a good idea to get off their lawn before you sit down for a drink. Number 5, Wendigo. Kill count 35,091. These Yeti-like snow monsters can be found in the mountains of Dunmoreau, just southwest of Ironforge. Actually not far from the starting area for gnomes and dwarves. They're found in fairly dense packs, where attacking one probably means gaining the attention of at least a pair at a time. And their Frost Breath is a frontal AoE that can hit multiple targets at once. So, at least you get to die with your friend.
Yeah.
Number 4, Defies Trapper. Kill count 40,700.
Wait, they're the one with the net, right?
These melee mobs can be found all over Central and Northern Westfall. And they've got a backstab ability that hits like a truck if they get behind you, which is great for them because you'll probably pull too many and try to run away, at which point they get to crit you in the back and post their sick parse in the Defias guild chat. Number 3, Voidwalker.
Wait, I think they have a route too. There were like some Defias NPCs they can route me. Are those not the trappers? I think they are actually, maybe. Like, this is actually annoying, like, getting roots in classic hardcore, because if you get rooted at a place where, like, mobs can respawn, and you can't free yourself from the root, you will actually get the full spawn if you take too long. That is, I think, one of the reasons also why many die, because of roots from mobs in, like, early game.
Back and post their sick parse in the Defias
especially if you're questing solo.
Number 3, Voidwalker Minion. Kill count 44,891.
Wow.
Voidwalker minions can be found alongside their Burning Blade Apprentice Summoners and Skullrock Durotar. Two things about them.
Yeah, I
One,
usually
they don't
play hard, so
despawn
I
when their
have
apprentice
those.
dies. Surprise! And 2, they tend to respawn right as you leave the cave. Number 2, Kobold Miner. Kill count 67,717. Kobold miners can be found in the Fargo Deep Mine and the Jasterlope Mine in Elven Forest. Their Pierce Armor ability reduces armor by 50%, but their environment is really what makes them deadly. These are some of the first enclosed areas new players come across, and many just aren't prepared to maneuver safely when fighting. And finally, the number 1 deadliest thing in Azeroth.
What is it?
Fallen. Kill count 74,273. At about 1 bone-crushing splat per minute, the ground is the deadliest thing around. It's actually pretty easy to fall from lethal heights in Azeroth, and most classes can't do anything to save themselves once they misstep. Descending cliffs is a lot harder than it looks, and yes, the data really does improve.
I wonder if like Thunderbluff is actually pretty dead on classic hardcore. Because I think like people are actually afraid of this place. Because you can fall so easily. Okay, here I would always stay in the middle. Like, I do this even on Rita. I'm usually very close to the middle. Because I don't want this to happen, so I try to prepare myself in case, yeah. Because sometimes, like, I've noticed something. Sometimes if you're standing at the edge, and there's like a loading screen, and I don't know, but for some reason, but that's me. I sometimes have like my hands on the keyboard, and when I'm in a loading screen, if I accidentally press something and I'm like at the last few percentage, sometimes my character walks a step actually. So it's kind of like my screen is not loaded in, but my server character is loaded in or something. Because I sometimes actually take some step or something by accident right at the end of the loading screen if I have like my fingers on the keyboard. So that's why I always stay also in the middle.
The ground is the deadliest thing around. It's actually pretty easy to fall from lethal
that's
heights
frustrating
in Azeroth,
actually, right?
And most classes can't do anything to save themselves once they misstep. Descending cliffs is a lot harder than it looks, and yes, the data really does prove that the elevator boss is incredibly OP.
Oh.
There you have it, the 10 deadliest things in classic hardcore by kill count. Take a moment to /cry for the 2,961,039 fallen noobs.
Insane.
Plus the 182 that died while you watched this. But then rolled a new character and got back in it. We'll see you next time, but until then, remember to party up, watch your step, and stay safe out.
1 second. When we look actually at this, have you guys noticed something that I've noticed too? Those are mostly the deaths for Alliance players. Does that mean that Horde players are not dying so often? Horde players, yeah guys! Horde players don't die as much because those are all mobs. Except, okay, the Voidwalker minion. That's like the only one really and falling. We have only 2 here where like the Horde is quite high, right? But look at Kobold Miner. It's almost twice the amount of Voidwalker minion. And you have like the Wendigos, you have the Defiers from Westfall. So it's like mostly Alliance players dying and Horde players are not dying. That's crazy actually. That means also that if you play on Alliance and Hardcore, it's actually more difficult than if you play on Horde or what? Is there anything dangerous in the Barrens, for example? I'm thinking now. I couldn't think of anything that's like super dangerous. Okay, maybe those pig people, right? If you pull too many. They're like kind of like kobolds, but they were not here on the list.
Character and got back in it. We'll see you next time, but until then, remember to party up, watch your step, and stay safe out there. For Azeroth.
Wow. I cannot help you, champion. That was very interesting. But yeah, my guess would have been maybe 2 million have already died. But like this number, that means it's almost 3 million, right? So it's like higher than expected. I would have thought like maybe around 2 million mark. Because I think like maybe each 30 seconds someone dies or something. But not each like 15, 20 seconds. That is actually insane. But that shows like how high the population is. Like to have that many deaths ever since Classic Hardcore launched, and that was not long ago. That means like it's full of players. Like so many moved over to Classic Hardcore. Like I can already see this on Twitch, like how popular Classic Hardcore is, but to have such a high number. Like what's the player count currently even? Like there must be a very high one. It could be higher, yeah, than even Wrath of the Lich King Classic or like similar to it. Yo, that's insane. Yo, if you have been playing Classic Hardcore, how did you die? Like, let me know your story, how you died recently. Did you fall off a cliff? Was it a kobold? Was it a void walker when you were leveling up your horde character? Like, what was it? Let me know in the comment section. For me, if I die, I think like the most embarrassing is I sit somewhere and I have like a drink of food. And I'm not too far from the respawn point of mobs. And I'm like not completely recovered. And then mobs spawn again, and I'm like low on resources. I think, yeah, and then I try to flee, but they actually chase me and I die. That's like my most embarrassing deaths, when I'm like eating too close on low resources to mobs where they can respawn. And I have to improve on that. If I find better spots to drink and eat, I will be fine. But yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time.